In an age of constant distraction, where emotions flare at the speed of a notification and every opinion demands a reaction, staying calm feels almost impossible. We live in a world that rewards outrage, not reflection. We scroll, we compare, we judge, and we react, often before we've even taken a breath. But over 2,000 years ago, a small group of philosophers asked a radical question. What if peace isn't something you find in the world, but something you build within yourself? They were the Stoics, thinkers, writers, leaders, ordinary people who faced extraordinary chaos. War, exile, betrayal, even death. Yet they remained steady, calm, disciplined, and clear-minded. They believed the mind could be trained, just like a muscle, that emotions weren't enemies, but signals to be understood, not obeyed. And that freedom begins the moment you stop trying to control what you can't. This video is about that training, how the Stoics learned to master their emotions, and how, with practice, you can too. Chapter 1. The Stoic Mindset. Philosophy as a way of life. To the Stoics, philosophy was never just a subject to be studied. It was a way to live, a daily practice, a discipline of the mind. The word philosophy itself means love of wisdom, and wisdom to them wasn't found in theories, but in how you handled the moments life gave you. The story begins in ancient Athens, around 300 BCE. A man named Zeno of Citium, once a wealthy merchant, lost everything in a shipwreck. Stranded, he wandered into a bookshop and began reading about the life of Socrates. That encounter changed him forever. Zeno began teaching a new kind of philosophy, one that taught self-control, courage, justice, and reason as the true foundations of happiness. His followers gathered on a public porch called the Stoa Poikile, and so they became known as the Stoics. Over the centuries, Stoicism evolved through remarkable people. Epictetus, a slave who taught that freedom is found in the mind. Seneca, a statesman who tried to bring calm into the chaos of Roman politics. And Marcus Aurelius, an emperor who ruled a known world, yet began each day by writing reminders to himself, just to stay humble and kind. For them, Stoicism wasn't about escaping emotion. It was about transforming it, turning anger into patience, fear into understanding, and loss into wisdom. They trained their minds as soldiers train their bodies. Every thought was a test, every challenge, an opportunity to practice virtue. In a world driven by impulse and reaction, they chose awareness, reason, and discipline. Because to live as a Stoic is not to feel less, but to live more intentionally, moment by moment, guided by wisdom. Chapter 2. The Practice of Self-Observation. For the Stoics, self-mastery began with self-observation. Before you can control the mind, you must first learn to see it clearly. Every evening, the philosopher Seneca would sit in silence and replay his entire day. He asked himself 3 questions. What did I do well? What did I fail to do? And what could I do better tomorrow? This nightly ritual wasn't about guilt or punishment. It was about awareness, about turning experience into wisdom. They believed that the mind is like a city in constant motion. Thoughts come and go, citizens shouting opinions from every corner. To live wisely is to stand above that noise and simply observe. Marcus Aurelius practiced the same discipline through his meditations, a private diary written not for fame, but for self-correction. Each page was a mirror for the mind. This act of slowing down, of looking inward, becomes a form of resistance. Self-observation is not detachment, it's an act of courage. Because when you observe your own thoughts, you begin to notice the small moments, the instant before you react, the space between stimulus and response. And in that space lies freedom, the power to choose who you will be next time. They taught that the unexamined mind is like a ship without a captain, but with reflection, morning or night, we take the wheel again. Chapter 3. The Discipline of Assent. Every thought that enters your mind carries a question. Will you believe me? Will you let me stay? The Stoics called this moment the discipline of assent, the ability to pause before giving your mind's approval to a thought. Epictetus wrote, "When you are disturbed by something, remember, it's not the thing itself that troubles you, but your opinion about it." Imagine your mind as a fortress and your reason as the gatekeeper. Countless impressions approach the gate each day: anger, fear, jealousy, desire. Most of them demand to be let in, but only you decide which ones enter. The Stoic doesn't fight every thought. He simply observes it, labels it, and lets it pass, like watching clouds drift across the sky. This is just an impression, he reminds himself. Not reality, not truth. The more you practice this pause, the longer that space becomes, the space between what happens and how you choose to respond. In that stillness, emotion loses its grip. The mind becomes lighter. This is not suppression, it's awareness. The Stoics did not seek to silence emotion, but to prevent false judgments from taking command. And when the storm passes, what remains is clarity. The kind of strength that doesn't shout, it simply endures. Chapter 4. The Dichotomy of Control. Every day, life confronts us with what we cannot control. The weather, the economy, other people's opinions, illness, loss. And yet, we spend much of our lives trying to change these things, fighting against what is already outside our reach. The Stoics taught that peace begins with a simple distinction between what is up to us and what is not. You can't control how others act, but you can control how you respond. You can't control fortune, but you can control your choices. This is the dichotomy of control, the foundation of Stoic resilience. Epictetus taught his students that when you attach your peace to something beyond your control, you hand your happiness over to fate. But when your peace depends only on your actions, your thoughts, your character, then no one can take it from you. The Stoic doesn't ignore the world. He simply accepts it as it is. He acts with reason, but without attachment to the outcome. Seneca wrote, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality. When we worry about what we cannot change, we live twice, once in fear and once in truth." To live well, the Stoic learns to let go, not with indifference, but with trust. Trust that life unfolds as it must, and that our only duty is to meet it with virtue, courage, and calm, because when you stop trying to control everything, you finally control yourself. Chapter 5. Training the Mind, Stoic Exercises. Wisdom was not just learned, it was trained. The mind, like the body, grows stronger through deliberate practice. Philosophy was not an escape from life, it was preparation for it. They developed mental exercises to build clarity, discipline, and emotional endurance. 3 of the most powerful are still practiced today and can be applied in simple, practical ways. Exercise 1. Negative visualization, premeditatio malorum. The first exercise is called premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of misfortune. The Stoics would imagine the loss of things they loved, wealth, health, even people, not to dwell on tragedy, but to strengthen appreciation and gratitude. Today, you can try it like this. Take 5 minutes each morning and imagine a day where something you value is temporarily gone. Your phone, your favorite coffee, or a minor inconvenience at work. By practicing this, you train yourself to face challenges with calm and to cherish what you have. Exercise 2. Voluntary discomfort. The second exercise is voluntary discomfort. Seneca advised his students to occasionally live with less, rough clothing, simple food, or small hardships to train resilience. For example, you can try it by skipping your morning coffee, taking a cold shower, or walking to work instead of driving. These small acts teach your mind that comfort is optional and that you are stronger than you think. Exercise 3. The view from above. The third exercise is called the view from above. Marcus Aurelius imagined rising above the earth, seeing cities, wars, and human struggles from a cosmic perspective. From that height, daily frustrations shrink and perspective brings peace. Example, take a few moments during your day to literally or mentally step back. Look at your life from a bird's eye view. Imagine yourself seeing your city, your challenges, your relationships as part of a much bigger picture. Suddenly, deadlines, minor annoyances, and small conflicts feel less overwhelming. Chapter 6. Stoicism in Modern Life. 2,000 years have passed, but the problems we face haven't changed. We still fear loss, we still crave control, we still struggle to master our emotions. Yet, the wisdom of the Stoics is now more relevant than ever. In an age of constant distraction, their clarity feels revolutionary. You can see Stoic philosophy woven into the modern world, in therapy rooms, sports psychology, leadership seminars, even the language of mental health. Cognitive behavioral therapy, one of today's most effective tools for emotional well-being, is rooted directly in Stoic thought. Its founder, Albert Ellis, once said, "The Stoics discovered the core of modern psychology over 2 millennia ago." The Stoic idea is simple. We can't always control what happens to us, but we can always control how we interpret it. That one shift, from reaction to reflection, is the difference between chaos and peace. Many modern thinkers and creators have revived these ideas. Writers like Ryan Holiday, entrepreneurs like Tim Ferriss, soldiers, athletes, and artists who see Stoicism not as old philosophy, but as mental armor for the modern world. Because Stoicism is not about cold detachment. It's about living with depth, with reason and compassion, in a world that constantly pulls us away from both. The Stoic lives deliberately, aware of their thoughts, their words, their impact, and in doing so, they bring order to the chaos. In a noisy world, calm is the new strength. Reflection is rebellion, and wisdom is timeless. Chapter 7. Common Misconceptions. When you hear the word Stoic, what image comes to mind? Many imagine a person without feelings, unshaken, expressionless, made of stone. But that image misses the truth entirely. The Stoics were not emotionless, they were emotionally intelligent. Stoicism doesn't ask you to suppress emotions. It teaches you to understand them, to face anger, fear, or sadness with clarity instead of chaos. Epictetus never said, "Do not feel." He said, "Do not be controlled by what you feel." They accept that emotions are natural, signals from the soul, but refuse to let them dictate their reason. This is not repression, it's mastery. Another misconception: Stoicism is cold, detached, or cynical. In truth, the Stoics believed in kindness, in the shared humanity of all people. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "We are made for cooperation, like feet, like hands, like eyelids." The Stoic does not turn away from life. They engage fully, but with wisdom, with calm, with purpose. This is not about being unfeeling, but feeling deeply without being destroyed by those feelings. It's not about indifference to the world, but freedom within it. Chapter 8. Applying Stoicism today. Stoicism is not meant to stay on the page. Philosophy is not wisdom until it is lived. To live as a Stoic today is to act deliberately, to turn reflection into action. Begin with small steps, a morning journal to examine your intentions, a pause before responding to provocation, a conscious choice to act with virtue in each moment. Practice the dichotomy of control every day. Focus on what you can change, accept what you cannot. Embrace voluntary discomfort. Skip the extra comfort. Endure a small hardship, and you discover resilience you never knew existed. Use negative visualization to strengthen gratitude. Imagine loss, then cherish the present, the people, the moments, the simple gifts around you. And finally, cultivate perspective. Step back. Look at your life as a whole. See your problems in context and understand that most worries are fleeting shadows. The Stoic life is not perfect, but intentional. It is an ongoing practice, a series of small conscious choices to act with virtue, to respond with wisdom, to live with calm in a turbulent world. All you need is awareness, courage, and a commitment to act wisely every single day. Stoicism is not a destination. It is a discipline of life. Closing, calm in the storm. Life will always test you. Chaos will surround you. People will disappoint you. Plans will falter. But between what happens and how you respond lies your greatest power. The Stoics taught us that we cannot control the world, but we can control our minds. That freedom begins in the space between thought and reaction, and that strength is found in deliberate, thoughtful action. You can start with awareness, choose reflection over impulse, act with virtue in each moment, and step by step, you will find calm in the storm. If this journey into Stoic wisdom inspired you, take one small step today. Like this video, subscribe for more, and begin practicing clarity and calm in your own life. Remember, peace is not found outside, it is built within.